So in this video, we're going to show how we installed our flooring. For those that haven't seen the previous videos, I've installed this flooring on a base of 1/4 inch birch plywood and a 1/2 inch piece of polystyrene foam, but it only covers half of the floor. The reason for that is there's a change in height from the front to the back of the van, and it happens over about 1 foot right around the wheel well. So I just used the foam essentially to level and create a little bit more insulation. You might think that sounds crazy, but after sleeping in a van night after night at some of the coldest temperatures in the world, it's certainly more than enough. For more detail on cold weather van life and how I came to some of the conclusions I did on the insulation that I use in my van, click on the video in the top right corner or go to the description where there's a number of different video links. So after finding an offcut that we were pleased with that fit the inside of our van, we matched the center line of the piece of vinyl to the center line of our van and worked out to both sides from there. Depending on the layout of your van, it may be really critical to get the right alignment. If you can see all the way down the center of your van and your flooring is crooked, you'll probably never be able to live with it, if you're anything like me, that is. Making sure the alignment in your flooring is correct is one of the simplest things you can do to make sure your van build looks good. Once the flooring was aligned, we trimmed slowly from the edges until it fit just right. I found it easier to trim off little bits at a time to make sure I didn't go too far, rather than cutting a little too much and regretting it later. Once we had the fit just right, we pulled back the rear half and applied the glue straight to the wood. This glue is a removable glue, which makes it easy to peel the flooring back up if you need to change it or if you need to get in to access something to do repairs. To remove the dried glue, you just scrape it up, almost like rubber cement. Once the back half was finished, we applied glue to the front half and did the exact same thing. It's important to make sure that you squeeze out all of the air bubbles, otherwise long term you could have problem with delamination. We used a roller and our hands to push the bubbles out, but on a bigger floor where you might be able to see bubbles, you might want to use a squeegee as well. Rolling the floor also makes sure that the glue gets solid contact with the vinyl. Once the flooring was installed, we installed some more of the interior structure and then began to get ready to cut the holes to vent our furnace. Because our furnace heats the inside air through a heat exchanger, the gasoline that it burns and the exhaust as a result of that burning needs to exit out the floor of the vehicle so that it remains safe for us inside. 2 holes are required, one for the intake for the combustion air and one for the exhaust. They say measure twice, cut once. I think I measured about 30 times before I spun the drill up. Because the pilot bit needs some material to sink into to be able to allow the hole saw to do its work, once you've cut a hole, there's no more material, so there are no second chances. After cutting your holes, you want to make sure to cover all of the bare steel. Use a self-etching primer or a rust inhibitor of some sort. Options vary from country to country, so I won't try to list what's available here. Some furnaces use the same size intake as their exhaust, but mine was a little different. The exhaust was a little bit larger, so I cut 2 different sized holes. For these types of jobs, I would recommend a high torque drill, but you have to be careful because when they bite, they can twist out of your hands. Just make sure to take your time and work the bit in slowly. Let the drill bit's teeth do their work and don't push down too hard. Well, that's all for this week. Stay tuned. Next week we build the interior structure out of 80/20 and get started on the DIY rock and roll bed. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more.